Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. Happy scoping out. I'm so glad you're here. We're talking about the power of yes. And this one simple trick that honestly is the biggest thing you can do to foster huge change in your life. And we're going to get there in a second, but I want to tell you how I got here because I was reminded last night of all these tiny ways this has added up. I'm like, oh my gosh, people need to see how this works. So a couple weeks ago, I announced the new cover for my upcoming book. Was super excited to have settled on a design. My graphic designer is working on some interior graphics right now, and my interior layout gal is working on layout options as we speak, and they're super cute, and she's really grabbed the spirit of the book, and I absolutely love it. Well, what I started to say then, as I was starting to think about this book and having it come out, and like, how do I get people to find the book, make it easy for them in a way that is also giving service. So I'm not just out there like, hey, buy my book. Hey, I got a book. Come buy my book, right? Without saying, I just have this product I'm peddling. I really want to make sure that I'm finding some way to deliver something of value, and then people are like, oh my gosh, I have to have this book. I have to do the work in this book because my life is going to be so much better if I have this book, right? So then I was thinking, well, one of the best ways to do that, especially as an author, is to hit the speaking circuit again. And I used to speak all over the world, actually. And I was like, okay, well, I wonder what that would look like now that it's been a few years and some of my networking contacts have kind of sort of faded in and out. And I just sort of put it out there, just kind of put it out there. This very curious, very playful way. I wonder what that would look like. What would it look like now to re-engage in the speaking circuit? Okay. Well, I get this contact from LinkedIn, some friend of mine that I met when I was in Toastmasters speaking. Should have been my first clue, right? He's like, hey, Triffany, I haven't talked to you in a while. I want to grab lunch. I'm like, sure, let's grab lunch. So we grabbed lunch, and we just had the best conversation, and it was all about energy and transformation and taking real personal responsibility for your life. And the whole time I'm thinking, see, this is why I say yes to things. This is awesome. I'm having and this is refueling me to come back to my office and do the work that I need to do. And this is so good. Well, at the end of it, he's like, so what's next for you? And I showed him the cover of my book, and I said, yeah, I'm really thinking about getting involved in the speaking circuit again. He goes, oh my gosh. There's these couple events I think that you'd be great at. Why don't you come to a couple of them, see if it's a good fit? Okay. Well, one of them happened to be last night. And then I got another call from somebody else that's like, hey, Triffany, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's have a catch-up phone call. Similar situation. And what's funny is it wasn't until last night, I had to almost have this happen in two kind of different ways. So I made a challenge to myself. As you know, marketing is really hard for me. I don't like it. It's one of my blocks, marketing my stuff. But I know because it's my block, right? How do we know we have work to do? We find those things that trigger us. So because it's one of my blocks, it's one of those things I really want to be intentional about and really work on. So yesterday, I was like, okay, as soon as I get this audio course finished, it's basically my Fail to Win course, which is also the book, which is now an audio course almost available. As soon as I get that done, I'm going to stop with the content creation. I'm just going to focus, give myself a 1 month challenge, a 1 month marketing challenge where I don't create any new content unless it's in the vein of marketing. Okay. So I made myself this promise yesterday. And then not even knowing what I had said yes to about this thing last night. It's like, yeah, it's something about your money mindset. I'm like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. It sounds great. Let's do it. I didn't question it. I just said yes, and I just went. And lo and behold, yes, all the information is stuff that I've heard. Yes, all that information is stuff that I teach. But I had this new context, you understand. So I had two contexts, didn't I? One was I had totally forgotten I had said yes to this to see if it was a group that I might want to speak at, which, by the way, it is. It's an amazing group of people. But above and beyond that, so I'd forgotten that. I'd even forgotten that was why I was invited. I was just still in my I say yes to stuff. I'm going to go say yes to stuff. So I said yes and went. And then a lot of the concepts he was talking about what it takes to manufacture change and create momentum when you're moving towards something in your mind. He was talking specifically about money, but I had just made a promise to myself yesterday about marketing. And I thought, God, this isn't, of course, none of the way we do one thing is the way we do anything, right? Of course, this doesn't just apply to money. It applies to everything we're doing. It was really well timed. And I went, see, this is why I say yes to stuff. And it wasn't until last night as I was falling asleep, I'm like, Triffany, all you did was say, All I did was say, you know, I think it might be smart of me to start speaking again. That's all I did. I didn't start making a bunch of phone calls. I didn't start, calling all of the Lions clubs and whoever else takes free speakers just to get me in the door. I didn't even do any of that. I was just super curious, and then I went back to work. Super curious, and then I went back to work. And this amazing thing happened. Now, I don't want you to mistake this, what I'm talking about, for like, oh, I just said it, and then shit happens. No, I still had to answer those phone calls. I still had to go to those got to go to those lunches, go to the thing last night. This isn't about taking in action. This is about taking appropriate action that you feel called to do. So when I say yes to everything, obviously I'm probably never going to say yes to signing a petition that's going to remove anybody's human basic rights. That's not in my core values. It's probably something I'm never going to do. But we get these things, these little hints and these little nudges and these little things, these little prods that kind of push us along in the area that we have set an intention for, in an area that we have said we want change to happen, and something that we have asked for. The key is, yes, this is super simple, right? So you set the intention. What do you want to have happen? I want to hit the speaking circuit again. I want to be speaking to people about these tools that get them out of their own way. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm in my own way with my marketing. So I go and I use the tools that I've developed to get myself out of my own way with marketing, right? So these are real things that are happening. I set that intention. Let me get out there and help people be their best selves, help people create success and happiness. That's all I did, was set that intention. And then I went back to work on the book, on the audio course, on my newsletters, on my reminders for my members, on these, right? I just went back to work. And then things started happening. And then my first response needed to be yes. Yes, I'll take that lunch. Yes, I'll take that phone call. Yes, I'll read that book. Yes, I'll do that interview. Yes, I'll do that thing. And not all of those look like an obvious transition for the thing that I've asked for, right? That's the second piece. Say yes. And the third piece is go in without going, now, if I have this lunch and I talk to somebody, it has to turn out like this. Remember when I was sitting at lunch with Carl from the Toastmasters, I was just thinking it was a great recharge for my battery. I hadn't even connected the dots that I had asked for the speaking stuff. And then here he was going, I've got these great groups. I hadn't even connected those dots. I went in with pure curiosity and I was engaged with him. I was talking with him about these things so he could feel with me and be like, I forgot how amazing she is. She's so great. I need her in the front of the room of these groups I'm a part of, right? If I had gone in there with an agenda, like, who do you know? Hook me up. What introductions can you make? Do you think for a second, well, there's Hi Luna. Do you think for a second he would have been like super excited to introduce me to these people? Be like, oh yeah, I have some things. Sure. Yeah. Check the calendar online. He certainly would have been following up with texts and been like, oh, I got to see you there. Are you going to come? So you understand, set the intention. Begin to say yes. Don't worry about, if I say yes to this, then it has to turn into that. Don't even worry about that. The less you're worried about that one specific outcome coming true, the more you can focus on what is happening in the moment. The more you can allow for those opportunities to arise. And the third thing is to take meaningful action. Take appropriate action. Don't just be out there, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's a real thing, by the way. Do you know that's how people check to see if the pasta's done? Anyway, so there we have it. That's pretty much it. That's your easy principle for massive change. So your homework is to go out there and think about what it is you want to change. Is it a new job? Is it a new relationship? Is it a geographic move? Are you moving somewhere? Are you contemplating a new spiritual practice? I don't know. Think about what it's been niggling at your mind. There's something in there that's been calling to you. You've been nudged already. So what are you about to say yes to? And when you say yes to that, just set that intention. Just with curiosity and playfulness. Wonder what that would look like. What's possible if I do that? And then keep saying yes. And as those opportunities come in, whether they make sense or not, take appropriate action and let me know how it goes. Let me know on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Triffany Hammond. Let me know on my blog, tiffanyhammond.com/blog. And if there's anything I can do to help you through the membership, through the Conscious Transitions course, through this Fail to Win stuff, which is super cool, coming out, the book is coming out. Oh my God, it's gonna be so great. Any way I can help you, let me know and I will help you. Go out there and create a great week, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Bye. Just say yes. Nancy Reagan's rolling over in her grave. I'm just sure of it.